We start here now. ICT services group Altron says its performance improved at the back of stronger cash flows. The company says continuing revenue was up 4% to 4.3 billion rand, while profits touched 362 million. Altron says group results were hindered by provisions and impairments raised in two non-core subsidiaries. Its vehicle tracking and recovery business Nestar also remained in positive territory, surpassing the 1 billion rand mark in terms of revenue for the first time in the 6-month period. We are now joined by the CEO, Werner Kapp at Altron. Werner, just capture for us the conditions that you've been operating in, especially in this tough 2023, low demands and a very low growth economy.
Hi, Motheo. Thanks for having me. I think our economic challenges are well documented. So it's not easy to run a business right now, but I think where we're really fortunate as a business is that I think we've got a set of assets which actually help our customers during these tough times. It helps them use technology to understand their customers better, to lower costs, and to manage their supply chain better. And I think that, along with our reasonably healthy balance sheet, is why we have been able to grow the business quite well during this time.
And what helped improve those cash flows? What are those products that you were talking about that the market was so impressed with that helped you garner that revenue?
I think there are, a couple of things. I mean, obviously you touched on the performance of the Nestar business. I think that's quite a good comeback story. Nestar is a trusted and respected brand. That business has been around for over 27 years, and there's quite a revitalization in that business. We've had record subscriber growth over the last 6 months. We've seen good growth in our Altron systems integration business. And then some of our, well-performing mature businesses like fintech, health tech, and security have turned out good results, and that improved profitability has helped us to really improve and grow cash flows.
Let's talk about Nestar and that improved subscription. Is that the high crime in South Africa or just better service products that you've now introduced to the market?
Motheo, I'd like to think it's a combination of both. I mean, no doubt that the increased crime rates play a role, but, I certainly would like to think our focus on improving our service to our clients. That growth is not just in the consumer segment, it's also in the enterprise segment. Some of the investments we've made in our big data and IoT platforms, is also playing a role. So I think it's a bit of a combination of both.
Altron then managed to sell off the ATM hardware and the support ATM business. How has that decision fared out since July? Are you seeing a marked improvement in definitely going digital as a business?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, firstly, some of our cash flow improvements have obviously come from selling that business. And I think what it's allowed us to do is really refocus, on our strategy, which is to be a leading platform and IT services business. And that's starting to come through. If you look at some of the results in our continued operations, I mean, you mentioned the 4% revenue growth. If you actually take the contribution of the ATM business out in the comparative period, and you look at the performance of our continuing operations of the businesses that are within this strategic focus, we've actually managed to grow revenue by 11%, EBITDA by about 26%, and operating income by 32%. So, I think it's been a really, really good decision for us to really refocus the business.
You've sold off the ATM hardware. Where is the business going in terms of technology in the financial sector?
I think a couple of things. I mean, digitization remains a high priority. Customers trying to understand their businesses better, or their customers better, also understanding their business operations and their supply chains better. And then I think our fintech business is really well positioned. It really provides the financial infrastructure, particularly for some of the unbanked population. On the one hand, from a consumer perspective, on the other hand, it also provides, payment terminals for some of the, larger enterprise clients. And what we're starting to see there is really, people are starting to add more value-added services as those terminals become a lot more software-based. It becomes a lot more like a smartphone. So I think very, very much seeing that kind of increased adoption of digitization of technology, and that's really what's driving a lot of the growth for us.
Now, Werner, you've also got plans to streamline the business in the coming year to really simplify the operation. Just please tell us what the company will now look like. Would you have a split between the security side and also the fintech side?
So essentially we've got three sides to our business. One is the platform side, IT services, and then we've got our distribution business in Arrow. So within our IT services portfolio, we've got 3 businesses, and we've decided to integrate, my apologies, 4 businesses, and we've decided to integrate 3 of those businesses, which is our systems integration, our Carabiner, and our managed solutions business, because what we believe that will do is really set us up well for growth. It gives us scale, and it also enables us to service our customers better. So ultimately what we'll move from is 9 operating companies to just 6, and that really just simplifies the model, makes the business easier to manage and to serve our clients better.
And looking at the country's infrastructure and the business that you in ICT, are you happy with the infrastructure that we currently have, or is that also hindering the type of progression you'd like to have?
I definitely think the digital backbone of our country can be improved, and there's a number of initiatives in place to do that. Having said that, Motheo, again, that for us, that is opportunity, because part of what we do in our businesses is we build, we improve, and we build solutions on the back of that digital backbone. So can it improve? Absolutely. But rather than seeing it hinder opportunity, we actually think that it can help us progress some opportunities as customers kind of leapfrog physical infrastructure and move into the digital space.
All right, that is Werner Kapp, Altron CEO, giving us the company's results. Of course, revenue up 4% there at 4.3 billion rand.